Hey everyone, welcome to the stream. My name's Brian Craig. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe and everyone like the video. Click that notification bell. I upload new content here all the time. I live stream 7 days a week right here on this channel. And of course, I upload my podcast here and a bunch of other stuff too. Well, we got a lot of things to talk about. We will take calls on this stream as well. The number is pinned in the chat, so you're welcome to call in. But there is a lot to talk about, and I'm going to start with this story here. And this is, of course, out of the Jerusalem Post, which is a very, very good news source if you don't follow the Jerusalem Post. And Bennett advises Zelenskyy to surrender to Russia. And, of course, this is the Prime Minister of Israel. And I want to talk about this, and we're going to go through this story. But, you know, here is the new play in the Ukraine-Russian war. Is there a name for this war? Is it the Ukraine-Russian war? Is it the Russian-Ukraine war? I don't know if there's been an official name given to the war yet, but there's a new play going on here, a new angle, and it's called a con game by the corrupt politicians in the United States. And what's going on here, we saw with this humongous multi-billion-dollar relief package that the United States passed, that the Congress is passing, and sending to Biden to send relief to Ukraine, that they had it filled with a bunch of things from the humongous spending bill that Senators Manchin and Sinema stopped from being passed in the Senate. So they call them earmarks. You hear a lot of talk about earmarks. Earmarks are all the things that members of Congress put into bills to hide them in there to get their agenda through and to pay back their donors that have donated money to them. You know, it's a legal operation they have going on that's really quite scandalous. But Manchin and Sinema, and no one's really talking about this. There's some mention that, you know, there's a lot of earmarks in there and everything else, but people don't really get into what the racket, what the grift is that the Democrats, that Biden are running here. So Sinema, who they were following in the bathroom, remember that, in the ladies' room, harassing Manchin on the back of the yacht and everything else. Now they've realized, hey, we're just going to pass relief bills for Ukraine, and we're going to add all those things that Sinema and Manchin stopped us from passing in the Senate in that bill. We're just going to add them as earmarks in the Ukraine relief. And that's what's going to happen. There will be a series of relief packages for Ukraine. Now, what will happen is the Republicans will whine and gripe, hold things up, and then they'll come out and say they took this out or they took that out or they did something. But the bulk of it will get in. And then next thing you know, there'll be another relief package. They'll have more into it. So what the Democrats are doing here, and it's really infuriating, not that they're doing it, because this is what I expect them to do. They're politicians, they're Democrats, this is what they do. But the media are not doing their job by highlighting what's going on here. So they're going to get their entire agenda through, probably including the Green New Deal and all that nonsense as well, in relief packages over the next few weeks and months for Ukraine. That is what they're going to do. So get used to it. This is what they're doing. And, you know, Mitch McConnell, these rhinos, Republicans in name only, I call them rats, Republicans against Trump. They're working with the Democrats to do this. So the tragedies that are going on in Ukraine now in this war, and there's a lot of tragedy going on. A lot of humans are losing their lives, and it's just terrible what's going on over there. And we've been wondering the last week or so, why isn't Biden putting together some delegation of heavy hitters to go and meet with Putin and try to cool things off? Well, and that's the reason I just explained, because they're going to get their whole agenda passed here domestically through the Ukraine relief packages. And that is they're war profiteers, and it may even be a war crime in itself. Now, that's just, I'm welcome to hear your thoughts on this. If you'd like to call me, here on the stream live. The number is pinned in the chat, 561-453-0328, 561-453-0328. The number pinned in the chat. If you have any comments on that and my little theory as to what the D.C. plot is with Ukraine. That's why they don't want to end this war, because it's the only way they're going to get their agenda through. And if you don't support their relief packages, you're a Putin puppet spouting Russian propaganda. That's what they're going to do. And it's really a shame. Now, I want to get to this article here, though. We got a lot to cover on the stream today. Bennett is the Prime Minister of Israel. Prime Minister Bennett told the Ukrainian President Zelenskyy that he recommends Ukraine take the offer made by Putin to end the war, which includes many Ukrainian sacrifices, in a phone call on Tuesday. So basically, the Israeli Prime Minister is asking or recommending that Zelenskyy surrender to Russia, but not unconditionally, a conditional surrender. Jacqueline, $100 super chat. Thank you, Jacqueline. Jacqueline says, protect this country. Lord, keep us safe. Yes, please do. And thank you, Jacqueline, for that $100 super chat. Everyone, please thank Jacqueline for that. If you don't mind, in the chat, I'd appreciate that. Thank you. And everyone, please thank Jacqueline for that. So, Israel recommended, the Israeli Prime Minister recommended to Zelenskyy that they surrender conditionally, not unconditionally, but a conditional surrender to Russia. According to the officials, Zelenskyy did not take Bennett's advice. The source claimed that the phone call was initiated by Bennett, the Israeli Prime Minister. If I were you, I would think about the lives of my people and take the offer, the Israeli Prime Minister said. So I want to ask you guys about this as well. Obviously, the Russian military is not doing as well as you would imagine. You know, being such a big country and being considered a superpower, at least at one time, their military is not doing too well. I think I read yesterday that it's being reported that Russia has lost 3 generals. Generals don't lose their lives in combat, and now we've got 3 Russian generals lost in Ukraine. I'm starting to wonder if these guys are being lost in battle or if Putin is putting them in a situation to get rid of them. Is this kind of like a Putin purge of his generals? I do not know. Zelensky's response was short to the Israeli Prime Minister, telling him to surrender. I hear you, he said. According to the report, the Ukrainian president and his people did not like the advice. Bennett, the Israeli Prime Minister, told us to surrender, said the official. We have no intention of doing so. We know Putin's offer is only the beginning. In the past 2 weeks, and especially since Bennett's visit to Moscow, the Prime Minister's office and Foreign Ministry have been claiming that Israel's mediation efforts forced them to keep an even more cautious and balanced approach. This message was also passed quietly to Zelensky's office. The official said that Israel asked Ukraine not to request more military and defense aid because such a request could harm the mediation efforts that Israel is taking part in. So apparently Israel is involved in some type of peace talks. This is really a disgusting thing here that Biden is doing. Any other president, I don't care who they are, Obama, Clinton, I don't care how scummy they are, any other president would be trying to cool this war off, not taking Rahm Emanuel's slogan, don't let a good crisis go to waste, and find a way to pass their domestic agenda and spending bills on a tragedy that is going on. According to the officials, Zelensky's office isn't seeing results from the Israeli mediation. He said that Bennett isn't mediating so much as functioning as a mailbox and just passing messages between Russia and Ukraine. A mediator needs to try to put together a compromise between the two sides and make his own offers. We don't need a mailbox, said the official. We have enough of those. If Bennett wants to be neutral and mediate, we would expect to see him appoint someone to work on it day and night to try to get a compromise. Ukrainian officials believe that Bennett's involvement in diplomatic efforts comes from his not wanting to take a clear stance regarding the Russian invasion for fear it will harm Israel's ties with Russia. On Tuesday, the Ukrainian ambassador is expected to meet with the Israeli Knesset chairman. The official said they intend to make clear the only option is blah, blah, blah. It goes on. Okay, so nothing new from that. But I must say, Ukraine could, it looks as if they could keep this war going on for quite some time. But the question is, should they? Should they? And, the compromises that are being discussed and proposed, one of them is that Ukraine recognize Crimea as Russian territory. That's one. And to me, that doesn't seem to be much of a big deal when you consider the loss of civilian life that has already happened in Ukraine and that is expected to happen in the future. And also that Russia's gonna keep it. There's no situation where Crimea is not Russia forever now. So that doesn't seem like much of a give. So I don't know. I'll throw that out to you guys. But how long can Ukraine hold out like this? Well, the government of Ukraine can certainly survive and keep functioning, but how many civilians are going to be lost? In the end, can Ukraine come out of this with more than what Russia and Israel are suggesting right now? Or not? I would say probably not. I mean, what looks like we're going to have is a very long, multi-year war going on between Russia and Ukraine. And I saw the past president of Ukraine on Newsmax last night, Newsmax TV. Any of you guys see this? I think it was a pretty good interview. It was very interesting, and I do commend the Ukrainian people for fighting. But there really needs to be real and serious peace talks. I mean, that's just the way it is. I mean, I missed what you said there, Valerie. Not you, Brian, but the sheep. What did you say prior to that? Stop the anti-Russia propaganda. I'm not. Listen, Russia was in the wrong for invading Ukraine. I mean, let's be honest here. This. I understand about the biolabs and everything, and that's a problem. But invading Ukraine was not the right thing to do. I mean, that's an illegal action. And but like I've been saying there's more pieces to the puzzle of this war, and we really haven't gotten a full picture of what's going on here. There's no doubt about it that there's an alliance between Russia and China, and this is a test of America to see what our response will be. And our response is pretty pathetic and embarrassing. But hey, look who we have as our president, right? A corrupt old man who has found a way to pay off his political donors using this war. But listen, everyone agrees Ukraine has a very corrupt government. Our government's corrupt, right? And our corrupt government officials have all kinds of corrupt dealings going on in Ukraine. So for now, for them to be put on this pedestal as holier than thou is absurd. And we know that the government officials in Ukraine are going to be filling up their bank accounts in the Cayman Islands and in Switzerland with this relief money too. I mean, how much of this relief money that's being passed in this bill is going to get to Ukraine after all the earmarks are carved out of it? And of the money that's sent to Ukraine, how much of it is actually going to end up helping the Ukrainian people during this crisis? I don't know. Not very much. A small percentage. A small percentage. No doubt about that. Oh, man. I know. It's something else. It's hard to believe this is happening. And, when I saw the past president of Ukraine on Newsmax last night, he was talking about how it was his idea, which he's a politician, to arm all of the individual, the civilian population, and they've done that, and there's been, and that's had an effect on the Russian army. I don't think they were counting on that, and and God bless them. And there's a lot of heroes and heroines over there on the Ukraine side. But this is just, in the end, it's a hopeless conflict. If we had a decent president, Trump, if anyone else was president and this was going on, there would be some type of peaceful resolution at some point. But without American leadership, I mean, this story I started about with Israel's involved in this mediation process between Ukraine and Russia. What the hell is that all about? I thought that, hey, Patrick, welcome. Longtime listener. Well, thank you for watching. If you're new here, by the way, make sure you subscribe. And everyone, if you've not done so already, please like the video. Liking the video helps me a lot. But in the old days, when I was growing up, Israel wouldn't be mediating. It'd be the United States. Now, sometimes the United States gets involved and gives bad people like Arafat too much credibility, like Clinton liked to do. But the United States was taking the lead. And when you look and see how things are playing out here, is the United States still a world power? And it really doesn't seem that way. Yeah, I know. It's really a terrible thing. Feel bad for all the sides, And I think we can say with all honesty, I don't think this is up for debate. And tell me in the chat with what I'm about to say, yes or no. Do you agree with what I'm about to say, yes or no? Is Joe Biden the most corrupt man to ever be president of the United States? Yes or no? Is Joe Biden the most corrupt man ever to be president of the United States? And I'm going all the way back to General Washington. Yes or no? I'm going to give that a yes. I'm saying yes. But you tell me what you all think. Because I don't even think that's debatable. Go and get Miranda Devine's book. Peter Schweitzer's book, which I have Peter Schweitzer's book. I've not read it yet. I actually have had it for quite some time. I got an advanced copy of it. But Peter Schweitzer's book is number 1 again on the New York Times bestseller list. And it's all about Biden's corruption with China. Yeah, I mean, it's a big fat yes, absolutely. Jacqueline with the 3 yeses, yeah. Beyond, Joe Biden is criminally insane. He's like one of those supervillains in Batman or something. Joe Biden is so corrupt, he doesn't even know he's corrupt. And what I mean by that is he's been doing crime so long, he doesn't know that there's another way. He thinks that's what politics are all about. Everyone loves Poland. Well, the Polish have stood up against the Russians. I mean, the beginning of the end of the Cold War was Poland standing up. Remember the strikes they had in Poland? And then, of course, Pope John Paul II was from Poland. Good morning, everyone. Oh, yes. How long's everyone been up? I've been up for quite some time. Oh, I wanted to talk, before I get to the other stories, it looks like we've got confirmation that Joe Rogan will get the Trump interview. And everyone on Twitter, I'm still not on Truth Social, I'm still on the wait list, people. I know, it's frustrating. This Joe Rogan Trump interview is going to be huge, and everyone on Twitter is saying it's going to break the internet. And this is going to be, to me, probably the best interview ever done with President Trump. It's going to be an absolute amazing interview. Now, Joe Rogan's a Bernie Sanders guy, so he's not MAGA like you or me. But it is going to be a fascinating interview. And one of the things President Trump really enjoys, I've heard Don Jr. talk about this, he loves that back and forth. That's why he enjoyed the press conferences so much with all those fake news people like Acosta. And I think Joe Rogan is going to ask he's going to ask all the questions. I bet you. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think Joe Rogan will ask him about Stormy Daniels and Michael Avenatti? I bet he will. Oh, yeah. It's going to be huge. Oh, you're over 1 million in line, Jacqueline? Oh, my goodness. My number that I have right now is, here, I'll pull it up, 233,859. Okay? There's my Truth Social number. And I have verified my phone number. So, and that's the original. Now, I've gotten an email the day after I signed up on President's Day, and the next day I got an email telling me I was 150-some thousand, but that's the number that's on the app. And a couple days ago, I got an email from Truth Social asking me to verify my cell phone number, which I did. And they said after I verified my cell phone number, they sent me a message saying that they will now expedite me on there, and it's been like 3 days now. But I do have an account. I'll tell you guys what my handle is when I have access to it. I do have an account, and people have been following me, and I get notifications. People have been following me and tagging me. I can't access my account. I've seen it because my wife Kathy has been on Truth Social for over a week now, 8 days, maybe 9 days, 8 or 9 days. And some people have found my account because I haven't announced what my handle is there, and have followed me there. And my wife messaged on Truth Social. She did a post yesterday to Devin Nunes, who runs Truth Social, and tagged him, asking to activate my account. We've not heard back from Devin Nunes. But the suspense is killing me. I've been getting messages from liberals who are laughing that I'm not on Truth Social, claiming they're on Truth Social and I'm not, and all this stuff. Well, whatever. I'll be there, and we all will be soon. And when we are, all this will be forgotten, right? This is my second cup of coffee. Yeah, it was not easy to get this far. I got on Truth Social. I got up really, really early in the morning on President's Day, but I had to get ready to be on the air and do show prep and everything, and I couldn't get my account set up then. So by the time I got off the air, it was like the peak of activity. So I finally got set up around 5:30 in the afternoon on day one, and I'm still on the waiting list. And I get a lot of messages from people that tell me that they signed up after me and they're on. I don't know. A lot of people I think are claiming to be on there that aren't. So anyway, yeah, this Joe Rogan Trump interview, I think Joe Rogan will hit. I don't listen to Joe Rogan's podcast. I do on occasion watch some of his interviews. They'll pop up on my YouTube feed if it's someone I'm interested in. So I don't really listen to his podcast too much. But I do watch some of his interviews. I have nothing against Joe Rogan. I was a fan of Fear Factor. I mean, it's an amazing story. He's a mediocre C-level actor, and look at where he's at now. I mean, he's got as crazy as this is, he has a wider reach than Rush Limbaugh had. You know, I don't know if he's more influential though. Just being able to reach that many people, you know, Rush influenced people. You know, and I've had people. Many people, anytime I do a personal appearance, and Steve Kane will tell you the same thing, anytime we do a personal appearance, and I do, listeners will come up to me out and about sometimes. I'll be out at the grocery store or somewhere, and a listener will come up to me, and people tell me all the time, that, you know, I listened to you for 5 years, 10 years, some of them even 15 or 20 years, and I was a liberal, and after listening to you for 5 years, I'm a Republican. I'm a MAGA conservative now. So and that happens all the time with people telling me, by listening to you, I'm now a conservative. Some people will tell me, I hated Trump, and I listened to you for a year, listened to you for 2 years, now I'm MAGA. You know, I hear that all the time. I don't think that's influencing, which is a good thing. It's not a negative thing. I don't think Joe Rogan influences people. I know he has a lot of reach. Don't misunderstand me. But I don't know. Do you think people watch or listen to Joe Rogan and switch their political affiliation? I don't think that's a common thing. Now, the Trump interview may be different. The Trump interview by Joe Rogan may actually flip people. You know, most people that don't like Donald Trump Because I don't understand how anyone could dislike President Trump. Do you? I mean, I really don't. But most people that dislike Donald Trump because they really don't listen to Donald Trump. They listen to what people who hate him have to say about Donald Trump. So doing a 2 or 3 hour interview, these Joe Rogan interviews are like marathons, and I'm hoping the Trump interview is one of them. I think that interview could switch a lot of people to say, hey, this guy's nothing like I thought. Because they get their news from CNN or Rachel Maddow or something over on MSDNC. So I think this Joe Rogan interview with President Trump could definitely influence people like I don't think really does on a regular day. I don't know. You guys can tell. Rogan influences a different group of people. He's a 10th degree black belt in jiu-jitsu. Well, that's cool. Whatever. You miss Trump now more than... Well, you're going to see Trump. There's a rally tonight, right? So aren't you all going to be tuned into the Trump rally tonight? I'm going to be tuned into the Trump rally tonight in South Carolina. And then next Saturday morning, when I do the stream next Saturday morning, when I sign off the stream, I'm going to be heading to a private Trump event, and I'm going to see Trump in person at a private ticketed event next Saturday. So in South Florida, in Fort Lauderdale. So I'm really looking forward to that. I'm really looking forward to that. Hopefully I'll be on True Social by then. Yeah. Now, let me pull this article up. I saw this article a couple days ago, and I thought I'd share it with you. This is out of Trending Politics, but I've seen it reported elsewhere. Forbes terminated their corruption researcher after he looked too closely at Fauci's financials. Now, everyone knows that Fauci is the highest paid federal worker. Fauci's salary from the federal government is higher than that of the President of the United States. The presidential salary is $400,000 a year. Let me show you what he found. He is his name is Adam. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that last name. He's co-founder of OpenTheBooks.com. He began poking around Dr. Fauci's financials for a Forbes piece. The retaliation came swiftly. He explained his perspective in a recent post. Dr. Fauci is the most highly compensated federal employee and the most visible. So it's incumbent upon all of us to give him oversight. In 2011, I founded a national transparency organization called OpenTheBooks.com. Last year, we filed 47,000 Freedom of Information Act requests, the most in American history. We successfully captured and displayed online $12 trillion of federal, state, and local spending. Over the last 14 months, since January 2021, we investigated Dr. Fauci's financials by filing Freedom of Information Act request. When I published our original reporting at Forbes, here is what happened. The National Institutes of Health, Fauci's employer, loaded an artillery shell in their big gun and fired it at the C-suite at Forbes, he went on. Quickly, Forbes folded, and my column was terminated. Then he explains how something changed the moment he took on America's purported top doc. In 2020, I published 36 investigations at Forbes, and the editors chose 26 for special showcase on the platform. The first piece broke that Dr. Fauci was the most highly compensated federal employee, even out-earned the president, 4-star generals, and 4.3 million federal colleagues. That piece alone has over 900,000 views. However, none of the 56 articles I published during 21-22 received an editor's pick designation. Something changed at Forbes after I wrote about Dr. Fauci. And let me see here what he found. Look at this. Working through the night, I dug through the 178 pages of disclosure and published the breaking investigation on Forbes on Saturday, January 15, 3:03 p.m. Shows that Dr. Fauci's household made $1.7 million in 2020, including income, royalties, travel perks, and investment gains. The household net worth of Fauci, a lifelong federal employee, exceeded $10.4 million. He's worth over $10 million. I mean, that's, hey, God bless him. I'm not worth that. I wish I was, but I'm not. Maybe one day. But, I think if you're in public life, if you're a public servant, if you've dedicated your life to public service, and all of a sudden, that all you've done is work for the federal government, right? That's all he's done his whole life. He's had that job his entire life. If you have that job your entire life, and all of a sudden you're worth $10.4 million, I think it's news for people to inquire how you made the money. That doesn't mean that he made it through corruption. Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. But I think inquiring minds want to know. I think that's interesting. How do you make yourself a millionaire 10.4 times over if you've worked your entire life as a public servant for the federal government? I don't know. Maybe he's a whiz day trader. I don't know. And this guy from Forbes has been punished because of it. This cancel culture we're in, they don't realize this. When they go after someone like that and cancel them, what do? They give credibility to the story, right? If they just ran it, people like me and you guys, we'd be talking about it. Rogan be talking about it. Bongino be talking about it, and then it would fade away. But when they do something like this, when they punish a person, when they censure a person because they reported it, you're like, well, what's going on here? It seems fishy. Why would they do such a thing? And that's just what the cancel culture will not stop doing. Now, before we move on, I just want to take a moment to tell you about the Thomas Edison of sleep, the inventor of the MyPillow, Mike Lindell, who's a sponsor of all my content. And if you want to support all the content I put together, the podcast, the radio show, my YouTube channel, and of course, at the same time, support the great Mike Lindell, who's laid everything on the line in support of our great President Donald Trump, go to mypillow.com, use my promo code Kane at checkout, and take advantage of these incredible deals. Now, here we are. It's Mother's Day is coming up. It'll be here before you know it. Now, everything currently at mypillow.com in all the sizes and colors is in stock. They have restocked from the Christmas shopping season, but as we get closer to Mother's Day, they're going to start to run out of sizes and colors of all the different products. Last year, around Mother's Day, this was really upsetting. They ran out of the MyPillow bathrobes. They're very popular for Mother's Day. These are great gifts for Mother's Day. I have one. The one I have is the gray one back here. My wife has the white one. They come in styles for both men and women. My wife and I have the heavier bathrobe, but they have a new one that is lighter, and these are great. I wear mine around the house, and they're wonderful robes. And we've had our MyPillow bathrobes for over a year, and like all of the MyPillow products, they're very, very high quality. And we wash and dry them, and they're over a year later, just like the day they arrived. And, of course, with our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane, 30% off the MyPillow bathrobe. And, of course, the MyPillow My Slippers, I have these. The ones I have are the tan moccasin ones you see right here. You can see multiple styles and colors. They're all in stock right now. I might order a second pair that are the slip-ons. I have these right now, and might order a second pair as a slip-on. Itchy Brain, $5 super chat. Thank you so much. Everyone thank Itchy Brain for that. Can't cancel Mike Lindell. That's right. And these slippers, of course, are 50% off with the promo code Kane. And you'll see this window will pop up when you go to the website where you can save another $10 off the already discounted prices with our promo code Kane. The MyPillow 100% Giza Cotton Dream Sheets. My wife and I have both the regular and the flannel. With our promo code Kane at checkout, 60% off as low as $39.99. This is an incredible deal. These all make great Mother's Day gifts that your mother will love. The Giza Elegance MyPillow. Now, this is a more upscale than the standard MyPillow. Regularly $89.98 with our promo code Kane, Kane, just $29.98. And there are many other great deals. You can take advantage of all of them with our promo code Kane. The MyPillow itself, the lowest price ever, just $19.98 with our promo code Kane. regularly $69.98. All make great Mother's Day gifts. Go there, use the promo code Kane at checkout, Kane. Support my content, support your mom for Mother's Day, and remember, mom includes your mom, your grandmother if she's still with us, your wife if you have children, and of course your daughter if she has children. Yeah, great deals. The 2-inch MyPillow mattress topper, 50% off. Just great deals, and you can take advantage of them with our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane. And thank you all who have supported Mike Lindell and this program by purchasing MyPillow products over the years. Been with us for a long time. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Oh yes, this is really and I like comedy. I enjoy comedy, but Amy Schumer, she's just not funny. She's not funny. I've seen her on things. She is not funny. In fact, she's sad. When you look at this story, look at this. Amy Schumer discusses post-Trump election meltdown. This is back in 2016, and she had gotten into some trouble with her woke lefty friends. I guess she had made some racial comedy, and what she passes as a stand-up act or something. I'm not sure what the racial crime she committed, but she had to atone for that. Look at this. Did celebrities handle Trump's 2016 election victory well? No, they didn't. In fact, many of them went positively postal, freaking out after learning that many Americans didn't agree with the Hollywood elite when it came to politics. One such loony leftist celebrity is seriously unfunny comedian Amy Schumer. She, in an interview with The Hollywood Reporter, says that Trump's election left her totally depressed and without anything helpful to say in her sketch series, Inside Amy Schumer. Why she wanted to say something helpful rather than funny is left unsaid, but is probably the reason that her popularity has plummeted. Yeah, is she still a celebrity? Her brand of preachy comedy is more appropriate for a leftist campus poetry slam than an arena full of people. It's true. It's true. Schumer took the interview opportunity to perform the ritual expected of every celebrity that has said something that is currently viewed as non-politically correct. This is all in the Hollywood Reporter story. There's plenty in her past that makes her cringe. This is Amy Schumer talking here, a quote from Amy Schumer. I'm disgusted with some of my old material, she says, citing one joke in particular about black people not being able to swim. Let me tell you, obviously black people can learn to swim. However, in Florida, the leading cause of death has been, for many, many years, the leading cause of death among children has been drownings because we have a lot of swimming pools in Florida. And if you look at the drowning fatalities among children in Florida, African-American children die due to drowning in Florida far and above their percentage that they make up of the population. So there's a big problem with African-American children not being taught to swim. Why that is, I don't know, but that's true, and you can look that up. It's something we deal with in Florida quite a bit. But anyway, I'm disgusted with some of my old material, Amy Schumer says, citing one joke in particular about black people not being able to swim. It was after reading Isabel Wilkerson's Cast. That's a Cast is a book that's a very thick book, that she better understood its racist roots. She has so much undoing to do, Amy Schumer admits, and she's been busy educating herself to be a better ally, a process that entailed participating in Black Lives Matter vigils and workshops every day for 6 months following the murder of George Floyd. So for 6 months, every day she went to Black Lives Matter vigils and workshops. You know, it's like it's like going to Mass every day, but she went to another religious event, and that's the Black Lives Matter workshops and vigils each day. Oh, my goodness. I'd love to see those. All right, enough of her. I'm not going to read through the rest of the article, but it's almost like when she's going through a confessional, a penance, you know? Oh, man, I know. That's liberalism. I'm so glad I'm not. Could you imagine what it must be like to be a liberal? Yeah, liberals are always made to feel guilty about their success. I mean, she's a great American success story, right? She's had a lot of success. She's almost a household name, and she has mediocre at best, and I would say no talent. You know, in fact, I when she first made it big, I'm like, who is she? I never heard of her. And I guess she had a series that was on Comedy Channel or something. That was her claim to fame that made her famous, that got her into the movies. And it was on Hulu or Netflix. I can't remember. I pulled it up and I watched the first couple of minutes of the first episode. It was so vile, so disgusting. I'm not even going to tell you what it was. That was it. I didn't watch ever again, and was no longer interested in Amy Schumer. And I know a lot of you guys probably aren't either, right? Well, you know, she can go to her... And why'd she stop going to the Black Lives Matter workshops and vigils after 6 months? I mean, she got more time than Jussie Smollett. So America was just humiliated by this cackle with Kamala, you know, and let me play it.
I'd like to ask you...
Let's play this just so we can relive this American humiliation.
I'd like to ask you about some reporting that my colleague here in Poland noticed. He recently spoke with the mayor of the largest border town, who told him that the refugee system is essentially not set up for this, that it will collapse. It's an improvised system that can work for maybe 2 weeks, but not indefinitely. And I'm wondering what the United States is going to do more specifically to set up a permanent infrastructure. And relatedly, is the United States willing to make a specific allocation for Ukrainian refugees?
Okay, now before we get to the reason I played the lady reporter asking the question, I don't know who she is. I don't know. CBS, I don't know. This is a CBS clip. I don't know. But this reporter is an educated professional woman who is she's with the press, so she's probably a liberal Trump hater, but she's an educated, articulate, qualified person for the job. You can tell by the sophistication of her question. Kamala Harris is an empty pantsuit.
And for President Duda, I wanted to know if you think, and if you asked the United States to specifically accept more refugees.
Okay. A friend in need is a friend indeed.
Okay, I can first.
Now, I want to go back, but, you know, President Duda here, English...
To set up a permanent infrastructure
is not his first language. I don't even know if he understood what she said. But what she did, you know, it's so interesting because like Hillary Clinton, Kamala Harris will go around telling you that she is a role model for women. She's a woman that women should look up for. I don't think any young girl or anyone, male or female, should look up to someone who dated a married man, okay, like she did with Willie Brown. But what she did was really pathetic before even the cackle watch.
And relatedly, is the United States willing to make a specific allocation for Ukrainian refugees? And for President Duda, I wanted to know if you think, and if you asked the United States to specifically accept more refugees.
Okay, see what she's doing here is she doesn't have an answer. She's a complete airhead. She can't even like vamp and act like she knows what she's talking about. So what is she doing? This feminist icon, the first woman to have the job of vice president. She's looking to a man for help. She's deferring to a man to answer. And he left it up to her. And you know what I'm wondering about President Duda? He knows she's an idiot. He knows what Biden's all about. I feel like he let her humiliate herself. He knew she had no answer, and he wasn't willing to help.
Okay. A friend in need is a friend indeed.
Okay, I can first.
What's so funny about that?
Okay, so this time.
And then she, you know, she does the hand motion after she says it, like begging him for help. When she watch her hand.
A friend in need is a friend indeed.
Okay, I can first.
See, he says I'll go first. He knows he's trying to save her now. He maybe this is when Duda first realized she was in trouble. He's like, I'll go first, and she's like, yeah, please, with the hand motion. And you wonder why there's a war going on with Russia and Ukraine.
Okay, I can first.
Please.
Okay, so This time. Szanowna pani redaktor.
Oh my goodness. You know, the thing about this is when you're at the level that she is at, okay? When you're at the level that Kamala is at, you're supposed to know the answers. You're supposed to know the answers. And if you don't know the answers, you shouldn't have the job. But when you're at that level, the ladies of The View had some comment on this. Let me pull this, if I can find this clip. When you're at that level, if you don't know the answer, you should be able to give an answer that sounds as if you do know the answer, or that you're a person that's in control enough where you can, craft an answer, make one up right there on the fly. And she cannot do that. Let me see if I can find this. If I have I don't know if I have this clip from the View or not.
So, right yes. Before the show, President...
Okay, yes, I do. I have the clip from The View. So we'll play that. But, she just doesn't have the answers. Yeah, dits. Yeah. This is definitely one of those times when you can say that, and I know a lot of people may say affirmative action. I won't say affirmative action. I would say probably, by the way, welcome to our new subscribers. If you're new here, please subscribe, if you don't mind. And if you also have not done so already, please like the video, all right? I would very much appreciate that. And by the way, if you want to call in, the number is pinned at the top of the chat, 561-453-0328. You are welcome to call in about anything that I have brought up so far on the program. And if you have anything that's relevant and, kind of newsworthy to the discussion today, you're very much welcome to call in too. 561-453-0328. Pin right there in the chat. So the ladies on The View, what do you think they said about this? What do you think they said about this? Yes. If she were a man. So here we have, I will say this about Joy Behar. I did not know this. She's almost 80 years old. So she's with it more than Biden. She's the same age as Joe Biden.
So, right before the show, President Biden pledged to strengthen America's squeeze on Putin on multiple fronts. He talked about the vice president's announcement yesterday that the U.S. is sending Ukraine an additional $53 million in humanitarian aid. But this is the moment from her press conference, which with the Polish president, Kamala's, that the right wing cannot get over. The right wing press. Watch this.
The right-wing
what the United States is going to do more specifically to set up a permanent infrastructure, and relatedly, is the United States willing to make a specific allocation for Ukrainian refugees? And for President Duda, I wanted to know if you think, and if you asked the United States to specifically accept more refugees.
Please help me, Duda.
A friend in need is a friend indeed.
Okay, I can first.
The laugh got them. She went on to say that the U.S. is committed to helping refugees, but some on the right say that this was humiliating.
Yes,
Did you have a problem with
scary.
any of the way she handled this, ladies? People are talking about...
Now this woman over here in the green is the traitor that worked for Melania, that has written the slanderous book about our wonderful First Lady.
About it, that I personally think if she was a guy, they would never say it, because they also made fun of Hillary's laugh. Mm-hmm. But I don't see them making fun of Pence's laugh or any of the other guys.
Does Pence laugh? Have you ever heard Pence laugh?
Well, they don't laugh very much. But
he didn't even move the fly that was on his face for like an hour. So
it actually wasn't on his face. It was on his hair.
His hair.
To be fair, we did make fun of that fly.
We did.
To be fair, yeah.
And I don't know that it's about her laughing, because I agree. I think that would be very inappropriate, and that's something that they do to women. I think that she has gone...
That they do to women? She was sent over there. This is Stephanie Grisham, by the way. This is the woman who betrayed Melania with this lying book she has out right now. This isn't funny, the thing with Kamala Harris. It is frightening to me. She was sent over there as a representative of the United States of America, the president of the United States, and NATO and our NATO allies, to try to broker a system over there to help people who are fleeing from war-torn Ukraine. And she doesn't have a damn answer? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? No, I don't care who this was. It would be talked about even more so than it is now. Could you imagine if Pence or President Trump had a reaction like that? What the coven of The View would be saying?
On multiple occasions, a little bit underprepared with some of the questions that she's been asked. Lester Holt asked her a pretty basic question that she couldn't answer. So I don't know if it's a staff thing. She's not prepared enough.
A staff thing? She's not prepared enough? It's not a staff thing. She's the vice president of the United States. A war has broken out in Europe. She is supposed to be prepared, not her staff. You know, Harry Truman became president of the United States during the Second World War, and he didn't know about the A-bomb. They told him about it after Roosevelt's death. You think he was cackling like that? He knew what to do. You know, you're a heartbeat away. This is frightening to me. Oh, it's a staff issue. Everything with this regime, everything with this administration, gas prices, Putin's fault, right? Inflation, Putin's fault. Oh, my predecessor's fault. It's always someone else's fault.
Perhaps she's not expecting the questions. I don't know what it is, but I think that's the issue. This is like the fourth or fifth time.
What it is that they constantly question the qualifications of black women, and that's why people are saying.
No, we're not questioning the qualifications of black women. We're questioning the qualifications of Kamala Harris. Okay? And you notice with Kamala Harris, she is whatever ethnicity they need at a particular time. When she first became the United States Senator from California, she was promoted as an Indian American, like from India, an Indian American senator. Now, because she's in trouble, she's African American because she can get more PC shielding from that. She is not being criticized because she's African American. She's being criticized because she is an incompetent joke who is really being put in charge of a situation that is less safe today. This is the Russian-Ukraine war because of this moment.
That she's unprepared. And
I disagree. I think she's
you can disagree, but that's the truth of it.
Stephanie Grisham, who works, she said she's a very can someone in the chat honestly tell me, jokes aside, she's an accomplished woman? What is one accomplishment, one major positive accomplishment of Kamala Harris?
And so this is based in racism, this is based in misogyny, and we're talking about a woman that has extensive experience abroad.
Really? Abroad? What experience does she have abroad other than traveling somewhere as a tourist? What does that mean?
Extensive experience as an attorney, extensive experience as the chief legal officer of one of our largest states in the country. And I think this is just much ado about nothing. I mean, we didn't talk about Vice President Pence's, the right didn't talk about his handling of the COVID epidemic, which
Yeah, because it was perfection. As much of a creep as Pence is, he did a pretty good job during that time.
Or the AIDS epidemic, which I think led to, thousands and thousands of deaths. And what they're talking
the AIDS epidemic
about is
what was Pence doing that led to deaths during the AIDS epidemic? She's just rambling. She's got her issues confused. This is Sunny.
Is her laugh. She was there as an emissary, really, and she wanted to reassure the NATO allies that that as Russia steps up its attacks on Ukraine, that the United States was going to be supportive. In fact, she's in, I think, Bulgaria right now. She is prepared. She is seasoned. Abroad, she gets wonderful marks across the board. But this
let's see the wonderful marks across the board for Kamala Harris.
This is just something that I think happens to women, and especially black women.
And
oh my goodness. That is when they use people don't care about skin color anymore, except liberals, and liberal people, when they're in trouble, use the race card to get out of trouble. People don't care about these things anymore. We are in a post-racial society in America, right? I have an interracial family myself. This is a post-racial society we are in. People don't care about that stuff. They really don't. And, liberals keep wanting to bring that in. I remember once Brid Hume said on Fox when Obama was president that this was Brid Hume's words, and I thought it was a very interesting observation about President Obama. Brid Hume said that Barack Obama uses race as a shield or a weapon, whichever fits his needs at that particular moment in time. And I think there's definitely some truth to that.
You're right about that. Look, anybody who says that Kamala Harris is not a qualified person, that Kamala Harris is not a serious person, really needs to go back and check where that's coming from.
It's coming from that press conference with the president of Poland with the cackling when she didn't have an answer.
Because if you think a child of immigrants who is from Southeast Asia and has a Jamaican father who grew up the way she grew up.
What do you mean, grew up the way she grew up? Now, this is Ana Navarro, who, I don't know who's gaining weight faster, Ana Navarro or Sean Hannity. But Ana Navarro, how she grew up? See, now she's a Republican. She's a rhino rat Republican against Trump, Ana Navarro. She's implying because Kamala Harris is a minority that she grew up poor. Kamala Harris grew up very well in a very upper middle class, maybe even wealthy life. She was born in California to very accomplished, highly educated parents, and she grew up in Canada. Where they're not supposed to even have racial issues like we have here. So, a little racial stereotyping there, Ana Navarro.
Went to law school in the best law schools, became, got to where she is, was one of the top prosecutors in asking questions in the Judiciary Committee when she was in the Senate. If you
now, that is talking about the Supreme Court hearing, which she lost and was asking questions about made-up slanders, right?
You think that happened because she's not serious or because she's not qualified? Then you should go qualify your heart and qualify your opinions. But they do this all.
And now this is an interesting thing here. You know what's missing from this, other than Whoopi Goldberg? The audience has not applauded anything that they've been saying about Kamala Harris. This line of garbage that they're peddling about Kamala Harris, usually the audience is all there clapping and applauding. Now, there'll be some applause here because they're going to rush somebody out with the applause sign. But when Ana Navarro made that comment right there, you need to check your opinions, that was an applause line with no applause.
All the time, right? They have an obsession over Kamala Harris laughing.
Because we have an incompetent, senile old coot as president of the United States. America's in crisis, financial crisis, there's global conflict, and there may come a time where he has to step down and she's next in line. And she's not ready, and that's scary to people in times of crisis.
Guess what? She laughs. I think it's a crutch she uses. This was a 50-minute, very serious press conference. They always do this. They take the 5 seconds where she laughs and they play it over and over and over again. It's not like she spent 50 minutes laughing.
That was the final question.
And it was a very lengthy question. I think they were laughing at the fact that the question had
and it was repetitive because they had handled that
Something
already.
just occurred to me because I was watching that movie Game Change last night, which is about Sarah Palin. It happened to be running on and during those years, everybody was on her case. Correctly, I think. She really didn't know what she was doing.
She really wasn't prepared.
She really didn't.
She was. There was no one better prepared than Sarah Palin. So anyway, enough of the ladies of The View. But I think it's significant that their sycophantic audience, right, of tourists and New Yorkers who are lovers of The View are not applauding or backing them up on what they're saying about Kamala. I think so that tells me that the line of garbage that The View are peddling there is not believed. It's just not believed by even liberal people, and that's you know what? That's a good thing. That's a good thing. Who cares about The View, Terry? They're irrelevant. No, The View. I agree. I don't watch The View, but when there's an issue, I talk about. I'll pull up the clip. The View is relevant in that I view The View as a way to feel the pulse of the American liberal, And that audience, and that was a desperate defense of a pathetic person. And the fact that the audience did not applaud when they were complimenting and defending Kamala Harris, that is the most scientific political poll that I've seen in a long, long time. So no, I think that is very relevant. The show itself may seem irrelevant, but if you think about it that way, and what it really shows you is, because that's a very liberal audience, and they're not agreeing with their applause. The Biden regime, the current ruling people of this country, not just Biden, but Pelosi and everyone, what this shows is how out of touch they are with the pulse of the American people. And when you're a politician and you lose touch with the pulse of the American people, you are done. You're done. By the way, if you are new here, please subscribe. And if you're already subscribed, do me the favor of liking the video. That helps a lot. When you like the video, it tells the YouTube algorithm to recommend my video and all my other content to people that have not yet discovered me. And that helps out the channel, which of course helps me out a lot. So that would be very much appreciated. And if you want to go the extra step and click the notification bell, I would very much appreciate that. Now, this is something that I think people need to be made aware of, and I did talk about this on the radio yesterday. DuckDuckGo, DuckDuckGo has been for years. I use DuckDuckGo. I have the app on my phone. DuckDuckGo has been a place where conservatives go to search for things online, and the reason that is you're not monitored, you're not filtered. And when you go to DuckDuckGo and search for something, you get the true result, not a result that's based on ads that are pushing the result to, the top of the search result, okay? And DuckDuckGo has been kind of like the Rumble, Truth Social, Getter, Parler of the right so far as search engine goes for many years. I mean, I know a lot of you have been using it for a long time. I mean, I use it too. I don't just use DuckDuckGo, but I do use it. And now we find out that they are, look at this, downranking Russian disinformation sites. And the CEO sent out a tweet about this. So, yeah, I know. Isn't that something? So DuckDuckGo, you got to wonder, what else are they deranking? He just, boom. What a bad move for him to make. And, I do not support the Russian invasion of Ukraine. I got to give the disclaimer all the time because, they want to call everyone Russian propagandists and Putin puppets. I do not support war. I do not support the Russian illegal attack and invasion of Ukraine. Full disclaimer, okay? I know, isn't that this is America, But if you say something that the establishment don't agree with, all of a sudden you're spreading Russian disinformation. To disagree with them is to be spreading disinformation. And DuckDuckGo, now where do you go for your search engines now? I don't know. But I share this because I think conservatives, I think MAGA people need to be made aware that DuckDuckGo has been compromised. And their CEO sent that out in a tweet. And, that I have many times gone to DuckDuckGo to and search for something, and then I'll go to the other search engines and search for it to see the difference in the results. Have you ever done that? And it really is amazing, the differences. And it's been a place, because what happens on all the other search, it's a business, it's okay, business is okay. But what the other web browsers do is when you search for something, the first search results are things that either they prefer you see first or are sponsored. And DuckDuckGo has a history of not doing that. They give you the actual result that you're searching for without any of that bias. And now we find out they're deranking content that they disagree with. So that is just something to be made aware of. There's not much you can do about it. I don't know. Are there any others? Is there a conservative search engine that I don't know about? Because everyone that's conservative that I know for years has always said that DuckDuckGo is their go-to. But and you can still use it. I'm still going to use it, but you just need to be made aware. Yes, yes, yes. By the way, welcome. If you're just joining us, welcome to the stream. My name's Brian Craig. And as you can tell, I am a MAGA man. And I live stream in the morning 7 days a week. And I also upload a lot of other content to my channel, including my podcast and other things. And we do take live calls. And you're welcome to call in at any time. And also, when I go to the Trump event next Saturday, all day, I'll be at a Trump event here in South Florida, a private ticketed event. I'm going to vlog that. So I'm not going to live stream from there, but I'm going to vlog it. And when I'm done with that, I will upload the vlog to this channel, and you'll get to see it. It's not going to be a rally that is televised, like the rally tonight in South Carolina with President Trump. You know, what President Trump is doing in the midterms is draining the swamp. And it's so interesting. What he's doing is he's draining the swamp mostly of fake Republicans, you know, that are working against us. And, of course, Bill Barr is all over the place these days. And look at this. Bill Barr says he would fight to defeat him. That means President Trump. He would fight to defeat President Trump in the 2024 primary. I'm not going to play this for you. It's Jake Tapper with Bill Barr. What the hell is that about? You know, this is what it's about. Bill Barr is part of the Republican establishment. And someone called last weekend on the stream and asked about Bill Barr. Bob Barr is the former congressman. Asked about Bill Barr. And I said, you know, a lot of people think Bill Barr was, you know, MAGA, was with Trump. He was never loyal to Trump. He was always part of the Republican establishment. Robert Mueller's investigation was going nowhere. They found nothing. And he was in a panic bar on what he was going to do. How was he going to get out of this? You know, he's got this investigation going on. He found nothing. They've spent millions of dollars. And Bill Barr, who was Attorney General before and a close personal friend of Robert Mueller, was brought in as Attorney General to give him an out. They only brought him in to not save or help President Trump, but to save Robert Mueller. And that's it. So, you know, he has not turned on President Trump. Barr was never with Trump. Now, this thing here that he will fight to defeat President Trump in the 2024 GOP primary. President Trump is officially traditionally the leader of the Republican Party. Whoever the president is, whatever party it is, they are the leader of the party. When they're out of office, they are still the leader of the party until another person becomes president of that party. And whoever wins the nomination of their party becomes the de facto leader of the party as well. President Trump is the nominee in 2024. It's his. He was our last Republican president. He's got one term left to him, and it's not even up for debate. And you can see already the Republican establishment are working pretty hard to defeat him. And I've told you what I've talked in the past. I'll just go over it briefly for people that may not have heard me talk about this in the past. Bill Barr here is working with the January 6th committee. Maybe not actively, but his efforts are a coordinated effort with the January 6th committee. It's like in a war, you know, like in World War II, you got MacArthur in the Pacific, you got Eisenhower in Europe. They're not collaborating on the phone all the time, but both of their efforts in two different fronts of the war are for the same goal, defeating the Axis powers. That's what's going on here. Barr is fighting the same fight as Liz Cheney and the Bush family with the January 6th committee. And the January 6th committee are going to use Barr at some point. This is what their plan is. The January 6th committee, we do know, I don't think, LB, that Barr's a snake. I think he's very out front about what he is. I don't think he pretends, does he? He doesn't pretend. He hates Trump. He doesn't approve of Trump, and he's going to work against him. He's honest, somewhat. Maybe a little bit of a snake. But anyway, the January 6th committee, we knew this before the committee even had their first session, that the conclusion of the committee will be that President Trump worked with, inspired, and is responsible for an insurrection attempt of the United States government. And because of that law that was passed after the Civil War, that if you've taken part in an insurrection against the federal government, you can no longer hold federal office, they're going to use that against him. Okay? They're going to use that against him to try to keep him off the ballot in the primaries in different states. If he gets through that, they're going to try to use it to keep him from the nominating process at the convention. And if he gets the nomination, they're going to go to different states and try to keep him off the ballot in the general election in 2024 using that law from the Civil War. They didn't want General Lee to become president. They didn't want Jefferson Davis to become president of the United States. That's why they passed it. And Barr is going to help them with that. And when he says he's going to fight to defeat him, if they're not, that's how he's going to help, because he is a Republican establishment, two-time attorney general, so he's one of their legal minds. That is what they're going to try to do. Now, whether or not they're going to be successful, let's hope not. But they did a dry run with Madison Cawthorn and failed recently. So they were trying to keep Madison Cawthorn off the ballot, saying that he played a role in the Capitol breach, and that failed. And Madison Cawthorn will be on the ballot for his election. So yes. Oh, boy. Now, I'm glad that we're getting some resolution on this, at least another stage. One American News, which was dropped by DirecTV, they're dropping them actually, I think next month was the announcement. Is it April that DirecTV says they're going to be dropping OAN? One American News has sued DirecTV and their parent company for breach of contract, saying liberal organizations pressured AT&T to drop One America News. Far right, One American News. You know, I think that's a fair. I think it's fair to say they're far right. Oh, Wookiees, Dad, $5 super chat. Thank you so much, Wookiees. Brian, we're loving the new weekend shows. Well, thank you. I enjoy doing them, Wookiees. And if everyone could thank Wookiees' Dad for that $5 super chat, that would be. Oops, sorry about that. Hit the mic. I got an itch. Calm down, Mike. Calm down. I think it's fair to call them far right. There's nothing wrong. There's no shame in being right wing. They're MAGA. I they are. Maybe you'll disagree with that, but that's okay. But I think their news is pretty good. Yeah, it's April, Debbie. Far right, One American News is suing DirecTV and its parent company AT&T for breach of contract after the TV provider announced it would be dropping the channel for their lineup. And it was reported when this story first came out, and I heard Eric Bolling also report this on Newsmax TV, that One American News, about 80% of their revenue is generated from DirecTV. They're not on a lot of cable systems, but they're in a lot of homes through DirecTV. So I've heard two reporting. Some say 80% of their reach. Other reports have said 80% of their revenue. So I don't know which it is. The number is pinned at the top of the chat if you are asking. 561-453-0328. That's the call-in number. It is pinned at the top of the chat. 561-453-0328 if you'd like to call in on the stream. Harry Networks, which owns One American News, filed a 36-page lawsuit in California and San Diego. That's where they're based. One American News is out of San Diego. The lawsuit targets DirecTV, AT&T, and the company board chair, William Kennard. In its lawsuit, Harry Network accuses the above-mentioned parties of breach of contract, breach of the covenant of good faith and fair dealing, intentional interference with business expectancy, and violation of California's unfair competition law. Interesting. Let me see if they got anything else. Okay, the company faces a loss of in excess of $1 billion if it's dropped by their provider. They generate that kind of money? Wow, I'm shocked. I thought that was a shoestring operation. Maybe that's over however many years. I don't know. Listen, they're going after Newsmax now. Newsmax is number 4 in cable news, number 4. And that's why they're going after them on some isolated cable networks around the country. And there's no doubt that One American News was targeted for one reason and one reason only. It's not part of the mainstream corporate news. That's just not. That's just the way it is, and it's really a shame. It really is a shame. Richie, that's Richie the bus driver. The call-in number is pinned in the chat, 561-453-0328. I believe that's the number. Let me double-check the number. I don't have it memorized yet. It's a new number. I have it written down in this book. Yeah, 561-453-0328. That is the correct number if you would like to call in. Yeah, so they're being targeted. I mean, that's just the way it is. I don't think they're going to be successful in that. And I'll say I've been pretty impressed that Newsmax has picked up some of the slack and is out there actively defending them. They're actively defending One American News, because you would think that maybe Newsmax would view them as competition. And if they get knocked off of DirecTV, which they probably will, I don't know how they could survive beyond that. I don't know if it would be possible for them to continue in the way they are. Some people are talking about them forming a partnership with Newsmax. I don't know, because Newsmax may not want to form a partnership with them because they might be afraid that they'll become more of a target because they're on so many cables. I don't know. I don't think anyone knows. But, well, let's take a call. Let's see. It's probably Richie the bus driver, since he was asking. Hello, you're on the stream. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Morning, Brian. This is AJ from Louisiana.
Oh, hey, AJ in Louisiana. What's up, AJ?
Yeah, I just saw your thumbnail. I just arrived at work, and I thought I'd take a few minutes to call you. I think Zelenskyy, he should just go ahead, just surrender. That way he could avoid the loss of life and all that other stuff.
Well, what the story is, the Prime Minister of Israel has asked him to conditionally surrender, agree to some conditions of Russia, not have an unconditional surrender would mean Russia can come in and occupy the country. What Israel is saying is concede some things. And what they want them to concede is they want Ukraine to recognize Crimea as part of Russia, which they don't do. Those two areas in the east that they carved out Russia, they want them to recognize those two areas as independent states, and also vow never to join NATO. So they want those three things to surrender. I think that most of that is pretty reasonable. They may be able to compromise on those two regions in the east.
Yeah, I can kind of agree with that. And also, when he's talking earlier about the One American News and about them taking it off the DirecTV and the cable. Well, honestly, I don't have cable, satellite, none of that stuff, because I can't see spending money on on something where I'm not even going to watch half the channels.
Well, I have cable because I need high-speed internet to do things like this, So the cable is like peanuts compared to what the internet is. So, and I need it because I got to monitor all the news, do my job. But mostly I don't watch too much TV. If I watch something, it's either on YouTube or on an app. I don't watch too much television on its own.
Oh yeah, I honestly got to where I can't really stand watching TV much anymore. I'd rather be outside doing something outside or something.
Yeah, well, you're a rare bird.
Yeah, I mean, if I happen to find a show I like, I usually just wait till it comes out on DVD and just buy the seasons.
DVD? You still have a DVD player? Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
really?
We've got DVD players, Blu-rays. We got a bunch of DVDs in the house.
Oh my goodness, you're old school, man. You got any 8-tracks over there? Cassette tapes? What else you got?
Well, we do have some VCR tapes, so we don't have a VCR.
Yeah, I have some videotapes too from when my daughter was a baby, but we don't have a VCR to watch them on now. No.
We do have some videotapes. Has some cassette tapes with some music on it, but
cassette tapes. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Wow.
I do know what an 8-track is, because when I was a kid, my uncle showed me one, and I was like, then he explained it to me, and then it made sense.
Yeah, we used to have an 8-track player. I remember when I was a kid at home, we had a stereo system in the living room that had an 8-track in it, And we had an 8-track in the car, too.
Yeah.
I liked 8-tracks.
I mean-
8-tracks are awesome.
Yeah, I remember when I was a kid, my mom had a record player. Then nowadays, you mention record players to some people, they have no idea what you're talking about.
I know. Well, yeah, I know. Hey, listen, thanks for the call. I appreciate it. Yeah. So it's not an unconditional surrender of Ukraine. That would be insane. It's a conditional surrender, and I don't think most of what Russia's asking for is that big of a deal when you consider the loss of life that they are facing. But what I was talking about at the beginning of the stream, and I'll just recap for those that are just tuning in. Oh, well, let's take another call first, then I'll recap. Hey there, you're on the stream. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, Robert Penske, Kentucky.
Robert in Kentucky. What's up, Robert in Kentucky?
Hey, man, it's great seeing you live on Saturday morning. Is this new?
I've been doing live streams for a while on Saturdays, but the studio setup I have here, this is like the third week.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, man.
By the way, I can only take one call at a time on the live stream, so if you're calling in while I'm talking to a call, you got to wait till I'm done talking to that caller. So what's on your mind?
I just wanted to call and just say it's good seeing you on Saturday morning live.
Well, good.
Man.
Well, it's good to hear from you.
I'm listening to you. I just now clicked on it, so I'm like an hour behind. But I was listening to you talk about the rhinos and stuff, man. You know, I live in Kentucky, and I'm not gonna. I'm just saying this: there needs to be a change, big time.
Well, you know, I'm sure President Trump's going to be talking about that tonight at the rally in South Carolina.
Yeah, there needs to be a change, big time, man.
You going to watch the rally tonight?
Absolutely. There's a reason they call Mitch the turtle. You know, I mean, there's a reason for that.
Why, he's slow?
No, because he's a swamp creature, man. He sells
a swamp creature.
He sells the president. Yeah, he sells the president out every chance he gets.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I'd really like to hear the love story that led up to this Chinese woman from a very wealthy Chinese family marrying the ugliest man in Kentucky.
Oh, she's not just wealthy, man. You realize her parents they're like really connected with the Communist Party.
Her father went to high school with the former president of China. They're like the Kennedys of China. They're a big family over there.
And I heard somebody say something the other day, man, and I agree with them. There's a reason why this stuff's all happening in Ukraine. Big reasons. I mean, like reasons with the names Biden and Clinton, Romney, Kerry. There's a lot of reasons.
Well, what's going on right now, I'll by the way, hey, thanks for calling. It's good to see you on the weekend.
Hey, same here.
All right, take care. See, I talked about this right at the top of the stream, but let me recap what my initial thoughts were at the top of the stream almost an hour and a half ago, for people that are just joining us. One thing that's very different about the Russian-Ukraine war is there is no effort by the United States or really any major power to stop the war. In fact, everything that is happening from the United States and NATO is to prolong the war, right? Like even the MiGs that they've been talking about for days and days and days. What the Democrats have done, and they did this with this Ukraine relief bill that they just sent. What they've done is they found a way to get their entire agenda through, and it's through the Ukraine relief. Right? Remember, all the talk about Senator Sinema and Senator Manchin stopped the big bill from being passed. They put all that stuff in the Ukraine relief bill, which is going to pass. And again, like the Republicans will throw up a stink and they'll take some things out, but they'll get it through. And then there's going to be another relief package for Ukraine. Who knows, humanitarian, military, who knows? They'll get more of their crap in. And there's going to be and what the Biden regime and Pelosi and Schumer, what their plan is to pass a series of bills to give aid and assistance to Ukraine, and in each one of them, fill them up with all the things that Sinema and Manchin stopped them from passing, and which, by the way, includes the Green New Deal. So the reason that there's no effort by the United States to stop this conflict is because they want to prolong it so they can get their agenda through, their war profiteers. That's what they're doing. And so far as the Zelenskyy government, they are corrupt as the day is long. Everybody knows this. They're getting their piece of the pie too. But the main purpose of this is for Biden and Pelosi and Schumer and the Democrat Party to use this war to pass a series of relief packages to Ukraine and fill each one of them up with earmarks to accomplish their entire agenda. And that's what they're going to do. That's what they're going to do. And I know some people are vaguely mentioning earmarks, but this is the deal. And if the war is over tomorrow, they can't get that done. And that's the only way they can get their agenda through. And you got to understand, Biden, Pelosi, and Schumer owe a lot of favors to these big donors. They didn't deliver on the bill. You know, the way it works, the government, they have it's all legal. Remember, Congress makes the laws, and they make the laws to benefit themselves. And, you know, it's a money laundering operation. You donate as much money as you're allowed to by law, and they pay it back to you in these bills when they pass them, these funding bills from the government. And that's what they're doing here. Good morning. You're on the stream. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning.
Yes.
It's Richie. How are you?
Oh, Richie the bus driver. Hey, Richie.
I had to get my Brian Craig fix for a weekend now.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
7 days a week,
I don't
man.
agree with you. I don't agree with you that Zelensky
Of course.
is corrupt.
Oh,
okay?
Come on. He's not corrupt, Zelensky?
Zelensky, whatever. I don't believe he's corrupt. I believe that the guy before him was as dirty as hell. And I believe a lot of the people in it's sort of like when President Trump came into Washington. The swamp was in Ukraine, and this new guy that came in that you knock all the time, that you call him an actor and a comedian. Well, it turns out that the guy's like a real. To me, he's like the George Washington of that country. He's patriotic. The problem here is this, and I owe you an apology. My whole attitude has changed because of what I heard last night. I don't want to regurgitate it, but did you hear the guy on Laura Ingraham last night?
I did not.
Wow. He did all the research. Here's the deal. Putin had a puppet president in there, okay? And then Barack Obama decided, hey, I don't like this president there. He's too close to Russia. You know, the Russia deal? So what he did was he said Biden as his head guy to go in, and Biden went in there and stole the crap out of the country with his son and everything else, with the corrupt stinking deals, okay? Putin was very upset about it. They have an election again. And they have an election again, and guess who comes in? Zelensky, and Putin is still ticked off, and the same characters that pulled all this off with Obama are in there right now with Biden. The exact same crew, thieves, all of them, every stinking one of them.
So this George Washington of Ukraine, you are the one man who says that he's not corrupt.
Listen, he could have taken a boatload of money and left right away.
How do you know he hasn't been doing that? You don't. How do you know he's not taking money? Like, we're sending them billions of dollars. You don't think he's going to take any of that?
Well, I don't know. I can't tell you. Brian, I can't tell you that, but I can tell you that they offered when it first started. And so Putin is still an animal, and the poor people of Ukraine, of the sacrificial lambs, just like the poor people of the United States, because this Biden deal right now is hurting us with the oil. It's hurting us.
Sure.
And it's hurting us in the supermarket. Every restriction that he made, Putin is still getting money through the world for his gas. The higher the gas goes up, Putin still makes money.
Yeah.
The rest of the people in the world have to pay by dollars. So the only ones hurt by him is us. The price is gas.
That's right.
Up. This is the worst. This is beyond corrupt. Not only
they're all Putin's corrupt, Biden's corrupt, Pelosi's corrupt, but Zelensky's not. You're telling us that's crazy. Of course, Zelensky's corrupt.
They have screwed us all.
Yeah.
We are sitting here.
That's right.
Fighting every morning on the telephone, including Steve, fighting every morning for a total corrupt system within our own country and over there.
That's right.
And the only ones that get hurt.
And you see my premise here now. Now Biden is using the Ukraine relief money to get all their agenda passed.
Yeah, this is and the gas is ridiculously high, and it's done on purpose.
That's right. It sure
and
is.
The inflation is actually hurting us because
it sure
of Biden.
Is.
Everything that's going on with the oil, and Putin's getting rich, laughing his way to.
It's over $5 a gallon here in Ron DeSantis' Florida now for super unleaded. Well over $4 for regular. Yeah, absolutely.
It's beyond control. But anyway, I owe you an apology. I'll even say it over the station on Monday because right. And Steve, if we watched Laura last night, he'd be saying, "Oh my God, yeah, we've been duped."
That is for sure. All right, Richie the bus driver, thanks for the call. All right, if you'd like to call in, by the way, the number is pinned to the top of the chat, 561-453-0328, 561-453-0328. Richie said that Zelensky's not corrupt. He's the one person that's not corrupt in this operation? I don't think so. Now, let me play this of Pelosi. Pelosi, everyone's talking about Kamala and the cackling embarrassment. I mean, this is at least equally as embarrassing and as stupid as Kamala with the cackling with the Polish president.
In fact, when I spoke to President Zelenskyy, I said, Billie Jean King sends you her regards and wants to know how she can help in an event.
Okay, now, Billie Jean King. Now, I mean this is not a joke. I am shocked that Billie Jean King is still alive. I haven't heard of, I thought Billie Jean King, I can't even hardly say it, it's been so long, Billie Jean King. I thought Billie Jean King had passed away. And, this is a press conference she had this week. She's bragging about telling Zelenskyy this. I mean, imagine Zelenskyy. Here his country has been invaded. Hundreds of thousands of his citizens have fled and are fleeing. He is the most wanted man in the world. He gets a call from the Speaker of the United States House of Representatives, hoping to get some relief money so we can send to the Cayman Islands bank accounts and all that, but also maybe help the Ukrainian war effort against Russia. And he's got to sit there and listen to her talk about Billie Jean King. And the reason that Nancy did this is because she wanted to impress Billie Jean King. She's obviously friends with Billie Jean King, and she wants to impress her by letting her know that she mentioned her to Zelenskyy.
In fact, when I spoke to President Zelenskyy, I said, Billie Jean King sends you her regards.
And he said, who? Who's Billie Jean King? Oh, my goodness. Who's running this freaking country right now? I mean, we got a bunch of strange people running America right now. I got to tell you, folks, and it's scary. These are the people that make that make the decisions that affect all of our lives. And this incompetence, whether it's Biden, Kamala, or her, these are the three people that are running the country. This is why Russia moved. Russia knows that they've got a window of opportunity here, and China's next with Taiwan, no doubt about it, to make their move against America, and they're doing it because America has not been this weak since before the Second World War, and that's pretty scary. But don't worry, because on deck is Mayor Pete Buttigieg, and they want him to be vice president. There's a lot of talk about somehow trying to get Kamala to resign. The Supreme Court pick didn't seem to work out, but they want him. They want Mayor Pete to be the vice president, and they may even run this guy for president one day. They just think he's so exciting because he's gay. No one cares. He acts like he's the Harvey Milk here. If he would have come out as gay like he is now, and it was the 80s or even the 90s during the Clinton era, people would be like, oh, wow, that's controversial. Now there's no risk. It's a benefit. It's not controversial. It's so dated, isn't it? It's so dated. But here's our transportation secretary, and of course gas prices are to the point they're just not affordable for a large chunk of Americans. I mean, how much does it – I don't know how much it costs to fill up my car completely from empty, because this week I didn't do it. I have not filled my car up all week. I don't want to know how much it costs to fill up my car, quite honestly. So here's Mayor Pete. He's got the solution.
And when it comes to the gas tax, look, the reality is we are going to have to graduate from the gas tax because we're going to have to graduate from gas. We know that it is not a viable long-term funding mechanism for our highways.
Wow. You know, the thing about oil, why do we have to graduate from gas? Why do we have to graduate from gas? You know, the earth makes it. The earth makes oil. You know, and it's a resource that will always be there. It is a resource that will never be exhausted. Because the earth makes it, okay, and makes it all the time. Right now, as we're speaking, and there's all kinds of untapped oil all over the planet. But you know, the gas tax. See what he's talking about there already. You know, this was during the campaign. He let the cat out of the bag. He wouldn't want to talk about this now because it would interfere with their agenda. You know, they're high-fiving over the high gas prices. First off, none of them buy gas. They get driven around in government vehicles, so we buy Pete's gas for his huge SUVs that are not electric. What they're going to do, you know, the roads and things are paid for the gasoline tax. There's a federal gasoline tax, there's a state gasoline tax, and probably some of you probably have local gasoline tax too, I'm sure, in your cities and towns and counties where you live. Hold on, hold on, caller, just a moment. But what Mayor Pete's talking about here is taxing the electricity that you use to charge up your Teslas when they get us to that. So right now there's no per kilowatt tax charging up your car, but they will have those charging stations you see around your communities. They will add a tax to the kilowatts on that to fund things. That's what he's talking about there. You're on the stream. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, my name's Gene Huber. How are you?
All right, Gene. Where are you calling from?
Well, actually, I live in West Palm Beach. But
West Palm Beach.
Quick, yes, sir. I just want to introduce myself real quick because back on February 18, 2017, maybe you guys remember the story, what have you, but I was at a rally and President Trump recognized me doing interviews on Air Force One on the TVs.
Oh, wow.
And when me standing, yeah, I've been at 24 rallies, by the way.
Wow.
And, yes, sir. And I was standing right in front of him, and 30 minutes into the rally, he pointed me out, and he goes, and I saw you on TV. And basically the bottom line is he called me up stage, and I ran up on stage, and I hugged our president, and he gave me the microphone, and I spoke to the world.
What rally was that at?
This was at Melbourne, Florida, February 18, 2017.
I have a vague memory of that. I vaguely remember that, yeah.
Excellent, sir. And, I just want to let you know, because first of all, thank you for what you and your wife do, because getting the word out and doing what we have to do.
Absolutely.
So that's wonderful, number one. And number two, the way I represent the story is the hug of the American people, because that's who our president is. He brings us in, his family. He loves us, and we love him in return.
That's right. Yeah. See, that's what they don't understand. They don't understand any of the Republicans or the Democrats. They don't understand the Trump phenomena. They don't understand, and they're jealous of the love that we have for him. And the reason that, there's a lot of reasons why, but in general, he is the first politician, I hate to call him that, but he's the first politician that is representative of us, not a donor.
Correct.
And they just don't get it.
No, absolutely. You know what? And that is so true, because that's what it is. Because when we're at these rallies and events and flag dropping, we all understand and get it. And, I'll tell you, probably about a little more than a year ago, we always have chants at the rallies, lock her up, build the wall. But, we love you started coming up, and we all chant that to the president. And let me tell you something, he gets teary-eyed.
Oh, yeah.
Because his heart is full of love. People can say, he says this with tweet. I love everything this man does, because, I took the name superfan from the media, you see, and that's why, like I said, that's why it's not about Gene Huber who got hugged. It's about you and everybody in America
well, you can tell, when, if you've ever, both of the caller and myself have been very lucky to be in the presence in person of President Trump, and I've been in the presence of other politicians and presidents. The first president I met was Bill Clinton, and I was on a rope line. I was young. I was 20-ish, but Bill Clinton came down the rope line, shaking hands with people, didn't even look at people. It might as well have been a cardboard cutout of Bill Clinton, and President Trump, he looks at you, he's interested in you, he loves the people. They love him,
Yes.
and there's a connection that other politicians don't have. They don't get it, and they're jealous of it.
No, I mean, it's almost like I'm explaining what you just said. I mean, it's just unbelievable how we have that feeling, and it's wonderful. And listen, all the hints, I know he's coming back in 2024, especially when he mentions the future First Lady. Our president is hilarious. I'm from
CPAC.
New York, Long Island. Yes, sir. I'm from Long Island, New York. I understand that sense of humor, and it's and he's so funny as well, But listen, like I said, I'm in the Lantana, West Palmyra Beach area. I had a friend who's listening. Her name's Robin, and she told me about your show, and that's one reason why I wanted to call. Yeah, so maybe we can keep in touch. Maybe I can,
Well,
give
you
a
send
call
me
once a month.
send me a DM on Twitter. I'm still on the wait list for Truth Social, so you can't DM me there yet. But you send me a DM on Twitter, Brian Craig Show on Twitter. I'll reach out to you. Maybe we'll have you in studio on the radio show sometime, because you're in the neighborhood of the radio station.
There you go, my friend. Thank you. God bless you all. And watch the rally tonight. President Trump's going to be in action in South Carolina.
Absolutely. All right. Take care. Take care. And I'm going to tell you, good guy there, good MAGA guy. See, and that's the thing. If you've never been to a Trump rally, or I've been to multiple rallies and Trump events and up at Mar-a-Lago and, and different things. And the Trump events bring everyone together, rich and poor, black and white. I mean, there's just Asian, and it's just amazing the bond that you immediately feel with people who you don't know their name, you don't know who they are, and you just connect. And it's like a family. Whenever you go to any of the Trump events, it really is. And if you've never been to a Trump rally, everyone should at least go to one Trump rally in their life. At least one time in your life, go to a Trump rally, Oh, Mary says her Truth Social was activated yesterday. No, I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting. Let me check. I check all the time. I don't check when I'm doing the stream here too much, but there's mine. See, I'm 233,859. Still waiting. Your account has been created successfully, Yeah, I know. It'll happen. It'll come through eventually. And then I'll be very happy. The ladies of The View were saying that when Kamala did the ridiculous "a friend in need is a friend in need" cackle, that the speech was filled with great moments. And I meant to play this one back then when we were talking, but this is another moment from Kamala in Poland, okay? What the hell is she saying here?
I am here, standing here on the northern flank, on the eastern flank, talking.
Oh, my goodness. She doesn't even know where she is. Does she know what a flank is? Maybe she thinks it's a steak. I don't know.
I am here, standing here on the northern flank, on the eastern flank, talking about.
Which one? Is it the eastern flank? Or I'm glad she's not leading an army. Oh, my goodness.
I am here, standing here on the northern flank.
She has to look down to see where she's standing, I guess. Does it say eastern flank on the floor so she can step on? Oh, my
Eastern
goodness.
flank, talking about what we have in terms of the eastern flank and our NATO allies, and what is at stake at this very moment. What is at stake this very moment?
See, flank steak. See, she said steak, she said flank.
Are some of the guiding principles around the NATO alliance.
Okay, now what are the guiding principles of the NATO alliance? What an interesting place that paused. All right, no comment. You can figure it out yourself. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my. Yeah. That's scratching. That's my dog. She wants in. Let me get the dog. Hold on, guys. I'll get the dog. Nina, you want in? Come on, Nina. All right. Come on, Nina. She needs her nails cut. Nina, come here, Nina. Nina, come here. She's walking around the room. She's curious. What's going on? What's going on? Come here, Nina. There's nothing over there, Nina. Come here. Yeah, right here. Come here. Right here. There you go. Lay down. Yes. Lay down, Nina. Right there. Okay. My dog, she's too big, but she wants to be a lap dog. You know, she's too big for a lapdog, but she wants to be a lapdog. In her next life, she'll be a lapdog. She's laying down now. Okay, good. She's laying down on her MyPillow pet bed, actually. I have a MyPillow pet bed at my feet here under my... I have a standing desk here, and I keep one of our MyPillow pet beds at my feet at the standing desk, and she spends her days down here with me. Oh, boy. NATO, we give them money, and they get a cut. And they give us nothing, and they're probably not paying their dues again since Trump's not around. UN doesn't pay their dues. NATO doesn't pay their dues. We pay everything. Yeah, I know. Exactly. Yeah, if you want to mention... Well, the MyPillow... Well, since you mention it, it's time for a MyPillow spot. Yeah, well, while we're here talking about it, let me tell you, the MyPillow pet beds, by the way, 50% off with our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane. They come in different sizes. That's the smallest. That's the largest. And there's a medium in between. Oh, Itchy followed my wife, Kathy, on True Social. That's good. That's correct. That is the one that she's laying on now, although we have a different color. The one she's laying on, let me see if they have the colors here. No, they don't have the different colors showing here. But let's see. This is the one that Nina's laying on right now. Okay, right there. There we go. This is the pet bed that Nina's laying on. They're reversible, and inside of them they have the same patented fill that is in the MyPillow itself. So they're 50% off with the promo code Kane at checkout, Kane, as low as $19.99. And you can hear she laid right down on it, and she is out like a light. A little bit awake. She's fallen asleep, but she's down there and she's comfortable. That's right. Oh, yeah. Now, this one, Peter Ducey, he does ask some good questions, Peter Ducey. And this one I particularly liked.
You guys are pushing electric vehicles today. This is a president who always talks about the power of our example. Mm-hmm. Does he own an electric vehicle?
Presidents of the United States don't do a lot of driving.
He's posted videos where he's revving the engine of his Corvette in Wilmington. He owns cars.
And he also has driven electric vehicles as president, to give a model to the rest of the country.
Does he own one?
I think the president's record on this is clear, Peter.
Yeah, his record is clear. Hypocrisy. He has a record of hypocrisy. And, Jen Psaki, that was a very good question by him about the electric car. They could have electric limousines. You don't think Elon Musk would construct an electric limousine so that Biden and all these limousine liberals could drive around in electric limousines? Of course he could. Of course he would. But they don't want to because there's all kinds of reasons not to drive around in an electric vehicle. And that's one of them. But, I will tell you, the high gas prices, which are beyond out of control, those of you that watch me regularly have heard me say there is nothing that brings the American people closer together than high gas prices. High gas prices bring people together in this country like only 9/11 did, and that didn't last very long because we were together on the 12th, the 13th. By the 15th or 16th, America was starting to divide again. Gas prices bring MAGA and Black Lives Matter together. That's true. High gas prices bring Jews and Palestinians together. Whatever your division is, high gas prices bring all Americans together as one because no one likes high gas prices. It's the great unifier. And what it does, high gas prices bring the American people together against the powers that be, whoever's in charge at the time. And right now, it's the Biden regime. And gas prices, everybody knows, it affects the price of everything. But filling up a tank of gas is a struggle for a lot of Americans that are struggling. After coming out of a year and a half, 2 years of lockdowns and shutdowns, and it's been a tough time financially. I don't know how many more financial hits average day Americans can take. But this is a California news station who went to a gas station and interviewed people. And these are California liberals. That's why I shared this one. These videos are all over the place. These are California liberals who are pissed off about gas prices because they're so high. Watch.
It's really horrible because, as usual, California...
Now, see what I mean? Here we have a Muslim woman in liberal California who's upset at the gas prices. See what I mean? It brings everyone together.
It's really horrible because, as usual, California gas prices are expensive, And right now it's getting crazy, you know. I go to my car Monday, $60. Right now I'm going again, and it goes fast.
For this mom of 6, going to the pump as of late has been difficult.
It's really hard.
Tell me a little bit how.
It's like, oh.
So hard that it's emotional to talk about.
It's really hard, you know, picking up different schools, dropping off, and like running out of the gas so quick. It's crazy.
She's running out of gas quick. See, she's not filling up her tank because it's too much money. And she has multiple kids go to different schools, right? High school, middle school, elementary school. And every time she turns around, she's got to buy gas. And the tears are because she's making financial sacrifices that probably hit pretty hard to pay for the Biden gas prices.
Crazy. It's really...
You know, but yeah, listen, you know what Biden said, you know what Mayor Pete said, get a $50,000 electric vehicle that you can't afford and you'll be fine.
According to the folks at Gas...
This is just, this is a White House that for the first time ever doesn't give a damn about the suffering of the American people. And the reason this is because Biden doesn't care. You know, Biden, he spent his entire life, he spent half a century in the Senate pretty much, right? Pretty much half a century almost in the Senate. And the Congress always has low approval ratings in the 20s, in the teens. So, and they continue to get elected and reelected. So Biden, by that experience, doesn't care because he's always had low poll numbers his entire life. The other thing is, he has no aspirations of politics beyond this. He's there to make his money now. He doesn't care. Right? He's not going to run for anything. He's not going to sign book deals or anything else. Maybe, but it's not counting on that. He's here to make money while he's in office. And the suffering of the American people, well, the green people have donated a lot of money to him. And, you know, the crazy thing about it is Elon Musk, who makes a lot of money off the electric car business with the Tesla, is saying, drill, baby, drill for more oil. We need more oil drilling, not less. And he makes the electric cars. And Elon Musk could easily come out. It's better for his business to say, everyone should buy a Tesla. I'm going to start selling them for $5,000 less. But he didn't do that. He says we need to drill for more oil. And no one in the mainstream media has really sat down with Elon Musk to talk to him about this. I saw a story today about Elon Musk. It's about his ex, who's now dating Chelsea Manning or something. You know what I mean? Not about what he said about drill, baby, drill. Here's another story. This is ABC News. Good morning, America, on the gas prices.
Good morning. Another day, another record for gasoline. According to the folks at Gas Buddy, the nationwide average price of a gallon of gas rising again overnight, now standing at $4.35. That is...
Oh, man. Don't you wish you could pay for that, you guys in California and New York?
It's up 59 cents from just 1 week ago. The average family now paying $65 every time they fill up the tank. Last year, that number was $42, a major increase, especially for those who drive a lot and fill up multiple times a week. Long lines at places like Costco as people try to save as much money as they can on gas. All of this coming on the heels of those staggering inflation numbers, up nearly 8% to a 40-year high, as you mentioned. Gas, rent, and food.
Now, see, this is the thing, okay? I'm covering it up, but, all right? Gas, rent, and food, right? Those are the things that are the basic necessities to live. You need gas to get to work. You got to pay your rent or your mortgage. And rents are high. Rents are very high. And food. These aren't luxury items. This isn't like, well, you know, luxury cars and yachts are now increased in price by 7.9%. You know, it's the new iPhone is 7.9% higher than the last year's. These are the basic necessities of life where the prices are going up 8%, and they're still going up. There's no hope to stop them.
Largest contributors to inflation, and it could get worse. The current spike in gas prices is not factored into these numbers, and the rising price.
Think about that. So the high prices now have not gone up based on the increased fuel prices, which means there's going to be another huge jump soon.
The price of diesel fuel, which trucks use to get products all over the country, will likely drive prices even higher. And we could start seeing those price hikes at supermarkets, restaurants, and retail stores sooner rather than later. Cecilia.
Yeah, bracing.
Oh, man, brace yourself. Brace yourself. And Biden, Kamala, Pete, they just don't care. They just don't care. And when it comes to these prices, who's affected by it the most? The people that they claim to represent the most, right? The poor people. Poor people are hit by this more than anyone. We're all affected by it. But the poorer you are, the more you feel it. Like that first lady I played who was in tears because gas is taken away from her food money for her kids, right? So the Democrats run around, we're the Republicans are the party of the rich. We're the party of the working man. Really? People's food prices have increased by almost 8% already, and there's another big jump expected. Here's another one. I mean, look at this. Look at this. This is MSNBC, right? Grocery staples nearly all on a steady rise. Milk up 50 cents. Eggs up 40 cents. Bacon up $1.40. But bacon, it's Kobe beef now, bacon.
Grocery staples nearly all on a...
This is MSNBC. So this, MSNBC, all of these news stories I played are from liberal media outlets. Okay? So even liberals are complaining. See what I mean about how inflation and gas prices bring the country together against whoever is in charge of the country. So here you have liberals complaining even more than conservatives in the media about gas prices and inflation.
Grocery staples nearly all on a steady rise. A gallon of milk up 50 cents, a dozen eggs up 40 cents,
Wow.
and bacon spiking more than $1.30 over the last year. At Dallas's Beyond the Butcher, every little bit extra adding up.
Beef and pork? Yes, please. It'll be a $3.50 charge for the pork.
Veteran cook Rafael Andrade turning out as many orders as he can, with a profit margin slipping.
So the price for this Philly cheesesteak staying the same, but what about the cost?
The cost has gone up.
In what?
From everything, man. From the mushrooms, from even the marinade, the onions, the peppers, to the bread.
Pricier food, fuel, and shelter, combining in a frustrating recipe for the days ahead.
Wow. And that, think about it. That is Rachel Maddow's network. That's MSNBC. And, a guy like that, the guy, he has this restaurant, what he's faced with is this. Does he break even on the Philly cheesesteak and take away his profit, or does he raise his prices? And a lot of people that aren't in the business would say, well, he'll just raise his prices. Really? Well, what about his regular customers? Because they're getting hit everywhere. When a small restaurant like that raises prices, they start to lose regular customers. And the regular customers they depend on for business. It's not easy just to raise prices. And they just don't care. But hey, listen, it's Putin's fault, right?
Isn't that largely the fault?
Isn't that what Joe says? It's Putin's fault. Yeah, that's right. Stop blaming him.
Make no mistake, inflation is largely the fault of Putin. Make no mistake.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Mistake, inflation is largely the fault of Putin. Make no mistake, inflation is largely the fault of Putin.
Well, then why were the prices going up before all this Ukraine mess? It almost makes you think that they started the war themselves, the Biden administration, so they had a villain to blame their failures on. And, the way that the Biden administration handles the gas prices and the other inflationary expenses that are going up is to do nothing. They sit back and let it work itself out. What action has he taken that's going to bring the price of anything down by a penny? He hasn't, has he? No. And you know what? He's not going to. And that's how he rolls, because he's Joe Biden and he's an incompetent. Now, if you're new here, make sure that you subscribe. And everyone else, please, if you're already subscribed, like the video. If you like the video, that does me a great favor. It tells the YouTube algorithm to recommend this video and my other content to people that have not yet discovered me, which helps me by bringing more people to my channel. So that helps me a lot. So please make sure you like the video. My name is Brian Craig. Thanks for joining, everyone. I'm going to take off. Had a great time talking to all of you. Everyone who called in, very good calls today. Thank you so much for your calls. And I will be back here tomorrow morning as well. I live stream on this channel 7 days a week in the morning. So if you have the notification bell clicked, you'll get a notification when I go live. I also upload a lot of other content here, including my podcast that I host with my wife, the Brian Craig Show podcast, which was named the number 3 must-listen-to conservative podcast in America. It was, the Brian Craig Show podcast. Number 1 was Mark Levin's podcast, which is a rebroadcast of his radio show. Number 2 was Glenn Beck's The Blaze. And number 3, named the must-listen-to conservative podcast, the Brian Craig Show podcast, that I upload right here on this YouTube channel and, of course, podcast platforms as well. So I'll see you guys.